next topic we're going to cover under advanced mathematics is time and work. Time and work is a simple concept which should be understood practically before moving into the mathematical aspect of it. Let's start with a simple example. If I employ Mr. A to paint my house, he will probably tell me that he would take 3 days to finish the work. If I am not satisfied with the number of days he is taking to finish the job, I would ask him if I can employ 2 other people to assist him. So Mr. B and Mr. C assisting A will probably take a day or so to finish painting my house. Essentially, more the number of men, lesser the time taken for the job to be done. This can be expressed mathematically by indirect proportion. Number of men is an indirect proportion to time taken to complete the work. So in the example, if I had employed just one person, Mr. A, to paint my house, he would have taken 3 days. So he would have taken more time. If I had employed 3 people, that is Mr. A, B and C, they would have taken only a day or so. It is less time taken to finish the work. This explains indirect proportion in aspect of time and work. The unitary method of solving time and work problems are in direct way of solving it. That means I don't cross multiply, instead I do direct multiplication. It can be further understood when I solve the sums. Moving on to the concept of 1 day work or 1 hour work. This can be mathematically represented by 1 by n. N standing for the number of days and number of hours taken by the person employed. If I ask Mr. A to finish a particular job in 4 hours, this means that if I want to calculate how much work he is finishing each hour, it would be 1/4 of the work each hour. Moving on, if I give you an example that I employ another person to construct a wall in 8 days, if I want to calculate how much he is finishing each day, it would be 1/8 of the work he is completing every day. 1 by n, n being the number of days taken. So in this case, n is equal to 8 because n is equal to 8 days because he is saying that he is going to finish the work in 8 days. Calculating 1 day work or 1 hour work, irrespective of the amount utilized, it would be 1 divided by 8, that is 1/8 of the work that is going to be completed each day or each hour, irrespective of what is given. Let's move on to solving the sums. Let's try solving the first question. 10 men can do a job in 6 days. How many men will be required to complete the same job in 4 days? We have to always use unitary method in order to solve these things. So first let's write time in days and men. So 10 men can do a job in 6 days. How many men are required to do the job in 4 days? Let's think of it practically. 10 men are already doing the job and they take 6 days to do it. You want the job to get finished or completed in 4 days. That means naturally the number of men employed should be more than 10. So you can't do unitary method by cross multiplying it and finding 10 into 4 divided by 6. In time and work, since the men and the number of days are indirectly connected, you have to do direct multiplication. So the thing to do would be 6 into 10 divided by 4. So x is equal to 60 divided by 4, which is equal to 15 men. You can clarify it by checking with the practicality of the answer. 10 men were employed to finish the work in 6 days. In order to finish the same work in a lesser number of days, obviously more than 10 men should be employed. 15 men are more than 10 men and therefore your answer is right. Let's move on to the third question. A can build a wall in 30 days, while B alone can build it in 40 days. If they build it together and they get a payment of rupees 7,000, what is B's share? Let's start off by writing whatever we know from the question. A builds a wall in 30 days, while B builds the same wall in 40 days. Just by looking at this, if A is taking lesser time than B, 10 lesser days to build the same wall, this means that this guy should get paid little more than B because he's more efficient. Totally, they are getting paid rupees 7,000. You need to find how much B is getting paid. In order to do that, we need to find an appropriate proportion when we can divide the share and we can divide the amount that they have to get paid each. Now, how to find that ratio? We've already done, if anybody does the work together, we need to find the work done in proportion to 1 day work or 1 hour work. Here, A takes 30 days. So, each day he's finishing 1/30th of the work. With B, if he joins hands with B, B would have finished 1/40th of the work each day. So, this is your first step. When you come up with a fraction like this, mathematically you need to find the LCM. So, let's find the LCM between 30 and 40. Let's start with 2, 15, 20, 2, 15, 10, 2, 15 and 5, 3, 5s are, and then 5 ones are, 5 ones are. If you multiply 2 into 2 into 2 into 3 into 5, you get 120. Therefore, the LCM is 120. So, I write the LCM as 120. So, this would be 4 because 30 into 4 gives you 120. So, 1 into 4. And 40 into 3 gives you 120. So, 4 plus 3. Since they haven't asked you, if they work together, how much time would they take? They've just asked you for B's share. So, you don't need to solve further from here. This is the ratio of the share because this is equal to 7 by 120. Okay? So, now A's share would be 4 by 7. 7 because 4 plus 3. 4 by 7 into 7,000, which is equal to rupees 4,000, while B gets 3 by 7 into 7,000, which is equal to rupees 3,000. So, your answer for this is rupees 3,000 because that is B's share. You can verify by noticing that A gets 4,000 rupees, that means he gets 1,000 rupees extra, and B gets only 3,000. This is because A finishes the work 10 days in advance and B takes 40 days to finish the same work. So naturally, you have to pay them according to their efficiency. So B is a better employee and hence you pay him 1,000 rupees more and B only gets rupees 3,000. Moving on to the fourth question. A can do a piece of work in 8 hours while B alone can do it in 12 hours. Both A and B working together can finish the work in how many hours? This is similar to the previous question, except that in this case, we need to find how much time they take if they work together. This is in the term of hours, so you need to find 1 hour basis. So let's try writing what we know from the question. A does the same work in 8 hours, while B does the work in 12 hours. Together, you need to find how much time they take. So try finding out in 1 hour work basis. So for A, it will be 1 by 8. And together, so you add it up, it will be 1 by 12. So it's actually just 1 by n plus 1 by n. Finding the LCM of 8 and 12, you would get 2 4s are, 2 6s are, 2 again, 2 2s are, 2 3s are, 2 1s are, 3, and 3 1s are. So 2 into 2 into 2 into 3, you'd get 24. This is your LCM. Now, the next step you do is to write your LCM as 24. 8 into 3 would give you 24. So it will be 3 plus 12 into 2 would give you 24. So it will be 3 plus 2. You get 5 by 24. This is the work done, or the time taken for the work to be done in 1 hour basis. In order to get your final answer as to how much time they take if they work together, you would have to reciprocate it. So your answer would be 24 by 5, which is equal to 4.8 hours. Let's move on to the 5th question. A and B together take 12 days to finish a particular work. B and C together take 18 days, and C and A together take 24 days. If A, B and C are combined together to finish the same amount of work, how many days will they take together? Let's write what we know first. A plus B takes 12 days, B plus C takes 18 days, and C plus A take 24 days. These are combinations of A, B and C and how many days they take if they work together in pairs. We don't know how much they take individually, so we need to just assume that A takes small a number of days, B takes small b number of days, and C takes small c number of days. Let's write what we know in an equation form. So when we convert it into a 1 day base work, what happens is you do 1 divided by A plus 1 divided by B plus 1 divided by B plus 1 divided by C plus 1 divided by C plus 1 divided by A is equal to 1 by 12 plus 1 by 18 plus 1 by 24. Okay? This is 12, B plus C are 18, and C plus A is 24. Let's write it in the terms of small letter a, b and c. So it will be 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by B plus 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by A is equal to, finding the LCM will give me 72. So this would be 72. 12 into 6 will give me 72, so 6. 18 into 4 gives me 72, so plus 4. And 24 into 3 gives me 72, so 3. 1 by A plus 1 by A will give me 2 by A. 1 by B plus 1 by B will give me 2 by B. And 1 by C plus 1 by C will give me 2 by C. 6 plus 4 plus 3 is 13. So 13 divided by 72. Let's not forget that there's a 2 that is common in the left side of the equation. So let's take 2 common. It would be 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C, which is equal to 13 by 72. I would take this 2 to this side and it would become divided, because now it is multiplied, it becomes divided. If you notice here, 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C is what A plus B plus C would take to finish the same work. So you've already arrived at your answer, except you need to rephrase it. So it will be 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C is equal to 13 by 144. The answer doesn't end here, because A, B, C working together would be the reciprocal of 1 day's work. So it will be 144 divided by 13, which is equal to 11.07 days. Let me repeat. They've given you how much work A and B together would complete in what time? So that is 12 days. So B plus C will finish it in 18 days and C plus A will finish it in 24 days. You need to find what time A plus B plus C will take to finish the same work. Let's assume it to be A, B and C respectively. Understanding from the question, you can rewrite it in this form, in 1 day's work form. So it would be 1 by A plus 1 by B plus 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by C plus 1 by A. So I write it in this form. It will be equal to 1 by 12 plus 1 by 18 plus 1 by 24. 1 by A plus 1 by A is 2 by A, and 2 by B and 2 by C are added. Take the 2 common, put the 2 to the other side and divide it because it is multiplied. And once you get this, whatever final answer you get, it has to be reciprocated because you're finding the total time taken and not what part of the work they're finishing it every day. Let's move on to the 6th question. A can do a piece of work in 12 days. B alone can finish in 20 days. Both together work for 5 days and A leaves. How many days will B take to finish the remaining work? Now in this case, let's assume that I am A and you are B. So I am taking 12 days to finish a work if I do it alone, and you take 20 days to finish the same work if you do it alone. Together, we end up working only for 5 days and then A leaves. That means I leave. So together, both of us worked only for 5 days. Since in that 5 days period, we don't know how much of work A has put in and how much of work B has put in and how much of work has been completed, the proportion cannot be determined. And hence, you cannot differentiate the two, and hence you keep the total amount to be 5. Moving on to the remaining number of days that you work for. Once I leave the project and you have to manage finishing the whole work on your own, you have to do it for the remaining days. So let us assume, let the remaining days be X. Okay? In this case as well, A and B are working together to finish a complete project. This project is only 1, so you equate whatever you're doing to 1 because you're calculating it on a 1 day or a 1 hour basis. So 1 is equal to 1 divided by 12 plus 1 divided by 20. The only problem is this is what A put in and this is what B put in. Out of this 1 by 12, A did not contribute to complete the whole project. He was there only for 5 days. Again, out of the 5 days, we don't know how many days or how much of the work he had completed in those 5 days. So you multiply A into 5 because this is the only place A is available for, and the remaining days would be X plus 5 because B worked with A, as in you worked with me and you worked alone after I left. So B worked alone and he worked with A. So it would be 5 plus the remaining days he worked for. Why we write 5 again over here is because out of the 5 days, we don't know how much of the work B has completed. Let's move on to solve the equation. It would be 1 is equal to 5 by 12 plus X plus 5 by 20. Okay? Taking all the constants to one side and the variables to the other, you get 1 minus 5 by 12 is equal to X plus 5 by 20. Solving this, I take the LCM to be 12. You get 12 minus 5 is equal to X plus 5 by 20. So 1 minus 5, I just take 5 by 12 being a constant, I take it to the other side. So 5 by 12 will come this side, it will get subtracted. So 1 minus 5 by 12 is equal to X plus 5 by 20 will remain as it is. 12 minus 5 is 7 by 12 is equal to X plus 5 by 20. At this stage, the only thing you can do is cross multiply. 7 into 20 is 140 and 12 into X plus 5 would give you 12X plus 60. Take 60 to this side because constants on one side and variables on the other. 140 minus 60 is 80 is equal to 12X. Therefore, X is equal to 6.67 days. This is your final answer, and this is the number of days that you alone have worked for. Again, A alone works for 12 days, B alone works for 20 days. Together they've worked for 5 days and A leaves and decides to go to another job. Now, B has to work for the remaining number of days in order to finish the whole project. The whole project, because it's only one project that you need to complete, you equate it to 1. The project will take you 1 divided by the number of days A is done plus 1 divided by the number of days B has put in. A has only worked for 5 days, and out of the 5, you don't know how much he has completed. So you do 5 by 12. B has worked with A and has worked alone, so it's x plus 5. You continue solving it by putting all the constants and variables to one side and the other. You end up with the number of days that B has worked for.